Hello everyone, my name is Omar and I wanted to share a little bit of what we had done to create our SharePoint team site for the Canadian Embassy to Lima, Peru. When we started creating the page, we wanted this to be a place where people can get together and can collaborate. Didn't want this to be just a repository of links or repository of documents. So the first element was to welcome users by their name. We explored different options. The first one was SPFX, but we were not allowed to use it, so it was not an option. We were also told about Power Apps, but again, we were not allowed to use it in our tenant, so it wasn't an option either. We even tried to use Power BI. Actually, we created a one-page report and embedded that onto our page using the user principal name. It worked, but as you can see, it didn't look nice and it was a bit slow. Power BI is a wonderful tool, but it's not made for this. Then we were also told that we could use list and Active Directory. So basically, the idea was to export all users, 20,000 of them, from Active Directory into a CSV file and then upload it into Microsoft List. And that worked, but it was slow and it wasn't practical. After doing some research and trial and error, we learned that we could do it with list, but with a list with only one element and with a little bit of JSON code. And it actually worked. It did welcome the users by their name. It was fantastic. We wanted to bring a little bit of Canada and Peru to our pages. From Canada, we use a maple leaf that will take us wherever we want to go very quickly. And from Peru, Machu Picchu became our hero. But we didn't this one to be static, so we also added an option in which users can vote for their favorite image, which will eventually replace Machu Picchu. There are only 2 weeks left to vote. So far, Arequipa, a city to the south of Peru, is winning. We had the events web part that we to keep track of the birthdays, and it worked. It was nice, but we wanted users to be a little bit more active on our website. So by doing some research on GitHub, we found a cool sample using list and JSON code. We added a form on top of that, which will allow the users to easily enter a post. Same thing with quick news. People like sharing and sending quick news, which are usually done on email, a one-line email. We found another option in GitHub that we could use, and we added a form to that with some instructions, and this quick news can be added to our page. At the embassy, we have different events. Whenever we have an event, we use a news post to promote it. And on events, everyone brings their cameras and take your pictures. So we decided to create a folder in which people can upload their photos. These photos eventually appear on this page, and people can like them. The most popular photo eventually appears on the landing page. We have different committees at the embassy and we created a page for them, but we also wanted each of the committees to have their own page. That was lots of work because there are several committees, not only the ones that you can see on this page, but there are more. So we created a template that will help each committee create their own pages. It worked very well. Within a couple of hours, all pages were ready. We also use SharePoint to keep track of documents that have been read, policies, and also to create a dashboard. For example, this is a document that we're supposed to read every year. We created an index-like version of this, and on the last page of this document, there will be a checkbox for a confirmation. Once the user clicks on that, that will save the information into a list, and members of the RP team, the readiness team, will be able to keep track of who has read the document in green or who is still missing, so they know who to go after. Now it's time to put it all together and see what it looks like. This is our actual page. Every element of this page has been created using web parts or list and JSON codes. There is no FPSX or any other external element. Bringing people together was one of the main ideas. Users can post quick news, can upload and like photos, can decide which photos will be on the landing page. They can share their thoughts and their ideas. We have noticed that when they post something, they tend to tell their friends about it and ask them to like the post. This has created a sense of community, which we wanted to do from the very, very beginning. During the development of the page, we also wanted to improve some processes. For example, we created a travel notification form. Before using SharePoint, the users who travel had to download a PDF format from a network drive, fill it in, attach it to an email, and then send it to the readiness team, who will eventually read it, extract information from it, like the date, the name, the destination, and add them to a calendar. But now users only need to submit the form. The data is saved immediately onto a list and it is displayed in a calendar format for the readiness team. There is no need to enter it manually. Navigation has also become a very important part of the process. You can get to a specific page or element in several ways. For example, to access the travel notification form, you can click on the maple leaf. You can also click on the link on the readiness page after clicking Programs and Readiness. But you could also get to it by clicking on the Missions Program link on the web part. On the Programs page, we decided to put into practice everything we had learned about JSON. This page is basically a list that contains different elements, and each element has got a title, a description or a mandate, a link that will take us to that page, an image that represents the program, but also the services. When you click on one of these elements, you can see the services provided by each of these sections. Let's see how we can add a new one now. When you click on the leaf, on the maple leaf new program, you are presented with a form. Let's add an element to this form and see how that works. Let's add a new program called Hackathon. Let's add the description. I misspelled that. Let's correct it. Let's enter the description and the services. For example, SP agents or out of the box, Viva or FPFX. Now let's add an image that represents that. We'll just browse for an image and add it to it. We'll not add a link in this moment, but you get the idea. After submitting this and just clicking on programs again to see what it looks like, we will see that a new element has been added to the list by using the form. So here we have the SharePoint Hackathon program, and when we click on it, we can see the other elements. I hope you have enjoyed. Thanks very much.